Welcome to episode 42 of Peace Talks. So this is Peace Talk. This is the Peace Dealer. I'm so excited to actually do this because I haven't done it in a while, and this is without a doubt a most special episode. What is good, Meru? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Super happy to be here. Super happy to finally do this.
Meru is repping Sun Soul Astrology. For those who are not familiar, I will definitely have the link in the description box below. But I think the most interesting thing about this is we're filming this in the same place. We are in the same house.
We are. I'm upstairs. He's downstairs. Neither of us could make it for the long journey.
Yeah.
Too much effort.
Too much, I have the Taurus, she has a Scorpio, so I had to make this such an opposition.
Proper.
But regardless, this episode is very much about you, and I personally can vouch. Ever since I met you, like it was a total like red pill, blue pill moment. I was just like, I wanted to go back to sleep, but nah. So could you tell people what your sun, moon, and rising are?
Yeah, so I'm a Scorpio sun, Pisces rising, Pisces moon. So I'm water, water, water.
That's a lot of water. So that would make your moon in the 12th house, then.
Pisces in the 12th house, moon in the 12th house, Uranus and Mars all in the 12th house. So it's kind of a heavy 12th house energy, but that's how I like to roll. 8th house sun, so, Sun conjunct Mercury, so the astrology thing going on.
And what house is your sun again?
8th house.
Damn. What's that like compared to like a 7th or 6th house sun?
Well, it's interesting because I think about 8th house and 12th house is incredibly similar. So it's just super ability to discern. I wouldn't say that it really helps me out as far as relationships go, though, for sure. So.
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
That's all the secret 8th house stuff.
Yeah. I think that 8th house can get a little bit confusing, right? Because it's all about the spiritual intuitions of everything. And so when an 8th house sun wants to connect with somebody, they want to go so deep into the other person that they just like merge inside. And so it's almost like 8th house sun has a hard time because you can't quite get close enough, but at the same time, there's this like separation that you don't want to let anyone in. So it's kind of a confusing. I use it as like a kitty analogy. It's like the cat that like wants to go outside, and as soon as you let him out the door, he wants to come back inside. It's like the kitty that can't make up their mind.
Kitty, look at this.
And stop being a bad kitty. God damn it, kitty.
So one thing that's really interesting about your channel, you're like, screw Mercury retrograde. I'm going to start my channel while it's retrograded in Capricorn. And the whole tone of your channel is very quantum, as you like to say. So for those watching who are probably new to your channel, what is it really about? What if I enter this world, what am I entering into?
That's a good question. You're entering a realm of quantumness that has no boundaries, no borders, no limitations, brutal self-authenticity and self-truth, self-love for sure. But yeah, I definitely love to cosmically bitch slap people into waking the fuck up. So, yeah, Potty Mouth Central, 8th house, 12th house. I can't help it. We'll never censor it. But yeah, I started Sun Soul Astrology on December 20th, whenever Mercury went retrograde in Capricorn. Because Capricorn is beast mode on, you know what I mean? And the transits don't have to dictate your life, You can definitely know when you're on the right path and when you're doing the right thing. and just go forward with it. And Capricorn is all about like, seriously, like Mercury retrograde, are you kidding me? You know, so I did it anyways. It's been super successful, and I bring quantum physics into the picture, quantum biology, epigenetics, everything quantum, to basically represent that we're in a brand new place. We're in a brand new stage of evolution. And so I bring literally everything into the picture and don't leave it out, because what are the transits and what are the planets if we don't have the tools at our disposal to actually implement everything and change our lives?
That's one thing I appreciate about you. If you guys mess with the flight boss, like if you guys check out Meru's videos, like she'll just off the rip let you know, if you don't know this, you need to step up. Like she's not apologetic with her videos at all. And it's interesting because like transit based of what's happening. It's a whole different way of expressing the info instead of trying to maybe put it in a box. Like I feel like you nail the intuition aspect of this.
Thank you. Yeah, I work heavily with my intuition, and I just freestyle my videos. You know, Magic or Peace Dealer is the same. He also freestyles his stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's like you have to just kind of go with the vibe and feel the energies. Because if you're just focused on everything that you've learned, you know, that's just being a repetitive robot, and you want to like really bring your own authenticity to everything that you do. So when you vibe it out, man. I think you're a huge example of that. You just go buck wild whenever it calls for it. You go totally sedate when it calls for it. And especially as Pisces season, your vibe has been super Piscean. Big
Yeah.
up.
I'm glad you corrected yourself. I'm gonna make that diss track to Magic Mike. Magic Mike is copyright infringed with Ashalata, so you know that's my twin brother. For guys who don't know, the Peace Dealer's gonna make a diss track to Magic Mike coming soon, thinking he could steal my followers. It's all good though. It's all good. No, but anyway, what I would like to know is, as well as a lot of other people, is I don't want to peer in too much because you definitely have your history with the spiritual journey. But I think one thing that was really fortunate was seeing you like start the channel and integrate so much. Like you at some point asked me to like teach you astrology, and then like you never even you just like downloaded it yourself in front of me and then started teaching me astrology. Like how would you describe that process?
That's actually a really funny thing. And yeah, honestly, I did. I wanted him to teach me more about everything, right? And what I didn't realize is that I had gotten to a point where I actually understood astrology. For me, honestly, the astrology chart did not reveal itself to me until I looked through it through the eyes of my quantum physics education. And it's a personal journey of mine that I've been studying quantum physics for years. Like I've audited classes from Yale and Stanford. Leonard Susskind is my favorite being on the planet, aside from Nikola Tesla. Talking about someone who's alive, it's Leonard Susskind. So, you know, I actually wrote him a fan letter, all that good stuff. But the point was is that I didn't realize how much I actually knew until I applied my own pure intuitions and elaborated on those and saw it through the quantum filter. And it literally just snapped. And I actually consider you an ascension stone. Like, so if you're familiar with Moldavite or black tourmaline, those sort of things that really just like catalyst evolution of soul. When I had my first reading with you, you just like threw me into the future. Everything that you predicted would happen within a year's time happened within a single month. So if you guys haven't had a reading from him yet, I would highly recommend it because his catalyst is like ridiculous. I'm in a brand new place from that reading. It's your fault.
I'm very honored that you say this, and For those of you who see my water sign rant, like, just remember all that shit. I was talking to Scorpio, like, here you go. I felt played. I'm just gonna be honest. I felt completely played. Like, you just took my chart and you didn't know. Like, I already read it. If I didn't know you were like a Scorpio or Pisces, I would have been like, what is this chick doing? Like, y'all, she took my chart, okay? And this was before when she was asking me to teach her about aspects. And then she started to just breaking down my chart just based off of what she knows. She starts breaking down my chart in such a deep way that she nailed certain parts that no other astrologer ever did. And it was like, oh my gosh, like if I didn't know she was a Scorpio or Pisces, I was gonna be like, okay, that's normal. But I felt playing like, how do you not know astrology? And then you just downloaded everything. It's just like, wow.
Yeah, you know, it's that Akashic Records. Like when you really tap into it, man, you really tap into it. So that's like a huge part of my channel is that it's all there for us all the time. And don't play like that water sign rant was about other people. That was about him. That was about you. That was about your fucking Pluto retrograde in your chart, pulling out all this super powerful intuition that he like tries to pretend like he doesn't really have, but he's totally freaking magical and more on point than any astrologer. So that's a interesting part about you is that you always captivate me, like no matter what, even though I know you know so well, like you still blow my mind on a like astrologer basis because you come at it with your own intuition that if you don't have that, you're not applying it, you'll never come to these conclusions. You'll never have this particular type of information to share. And like you say all the time, there's no books written on this stuff because we're creating like the new evolution.
So what kind of really clicked my head in gear when I had first met you was when I had first moved here and being in the area, you were, you had offered the chance to read you in person. And so this kind of really blew my mind when you introduced the concept of you being a walk-in. And you talk about this a lot in your channel. And I'm not gonna lie, like I have the Capricorn moon and the Gemini sun, like I can believe it, but at first I was like, oh, this bitch is crazy. Like she really thinks that she had a soul walk in her and shit. And then as I was hearing it, I was like, no, wait. First of all, the way you were explaining it, like it made so much sense later, but as I was trying to like Gemini my way out of it, it just started to like spiral down into a rabbit hole to where it really started to help me understand this whole world of walk-ins, even down to me getting ready for my own walk-in experience. So could you like speak a lot more about this and what's the down low about walk-ins and your experience?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a great thing to talk about because it's still, you know, relatively new to the more mainstream version of everything. But yeah, that's why I asked to do the reading in person is because I wanted you to vibe out with my energy, you know? And then, of course, there's like two different charts. There's the original body chart, and then there's my walk-in chart. So for me, I'm quite different in the walk-in scenario. I actually, my original soul, my body, you know, acquired salmonella poisoning, died in a hospital, you know, had to be brought back by the defibrillator. So therefore, I have an actual birthday and time and location knowledge. And not only that, whenever I woke up, I was blatantly aware that I was a completely different person, but not different person, like a different species, that kind of a thing. So I don't remember the lifetime from before, from the original soul being here. And you were part of the journey that really helped me to identify what chart was really playing out and how that works. And now after knowing me, you're able to see, you know, what traits definitely are matching.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in both charts, I do pull a lot of Virgo. So that kind of just is stuck. And my progress chart in my walk-in is also moved back to a Virgo moon, which is originally my original body's natal moon. So long story short, it's been a very interesting experience and it sucked for a long time to try to pretend that I'm somebody that I am not. And as a walk-in, I'm 13 years old. So it's pretty exciting, and getting into like Vedic astrology, numerology, and the nakshatras. My Vedic astrologer friend is always trying to teach me how to say that word properly. But going through those, it's based like I'm supposed to be stepping into my power at 13, and then at 16, I'm supposed to be in like full soul mastery. So like, how the hell would that happen if I was born from, a baby? But the whole thing about walk-ins is there's multiple different kinds, and I'm grateful for the kind that I am, the full soul transfer, because
Mhm.
the others get a bit confusing and nobody really knows. And I've come across people that think they can make up their birthday and their time and
Yeah.
make up their name, and it's like kind of more wishful thinking, if you ask me, because I'm also incredibly logical at the same time. So I'm not just like, hey, look at me, I'm a person.
So to like basically accent on this, like some people are to for those wanting to know what a walk-in, because you basically did touch on this. So just to re-explain it, a walk-in is another soul, we can say, being born in someone's vessel. This actually happens to a lot of people, but not a lot of people. Well, I wouldn't say it happens to a lot of people, but the people that it happens to, like you might have had a walk-in experience and you may not have, known how it happened. This is you completely being reborn. When some people catch the Holy Spirit and they're born again, that's like a walk-in experience. Some people actually die, like in Meru's case. And so the day that she was reborn, that's her natal chart. That's her actual like walk-in chart, technically, for those who want to know. So personally, through experience, like when I read her chart, this was before she told me she was a walk-in. When I read her chart, like the chart she gave me was of the original vessel. And the first thing I had noted was, because she had given me her walk-in chart too, and first thing I had noted was, which really tripped me out, was like, wow, like she is way more like her walk-in chart than she is like her regular chart. And there's certain facets, like having a moon in Virgo with the Saturn, that you can't fake. Like if you wanted to act like something, like there's certain things you can't necessarily fake and whatnot. And even saying how you're 13, like everything about your age versus your Lisa's age, the person who you walked into, you can totally see and sense. And there were things that I subconsciously wanted to ask you but didn't know how to ask you until you revealed your walk-in. So these are all things that just added to the experience. This was before you started giving me that red pill, blue pill, and then we went to see Doctor Strange, and that was just like, oh my gosh. But yeah, there are different types of walk-in experiences. Some people can like transform, I believe, and other people have the full like experience. It is a mind fuck, as some people are saying in the comment section. But yeah. So what do you feel about your journey so far? A lot of this has happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, it has happened pretty quickly. And that's the blessing, is that, I came in fully awake, fully understanding that, I'm from somewhere else and here for a specific reason. So I've been on a mission to hurry up, and there's a couple things that stuck from my original soul, such as music. But, you know, getting here as fast as I did is kind of an example of it. But yeah, I mean, walk-ins are a head trip, but it's for the planetary evolution. We don't have time to start off from, diapers and learning how to crawl. We don't have time to be held back by our past. So that's why, sun soul astrology is quite a bit different, is because I try to knock the memories out of people, try to like teach them how to like cancel out that past memory that holds them back, because that's a positive that I have. I don't have all of the original soul shit holding me back. I'm fresh with my own experiences, and trust, I've had some interesting ones, because I also bring in the topic of O negative blood, because
I was gonna ask you that right now. Could you speak on that?
yeah, well, this is part of why I got into understanding O negative blood, because I have it, right? And I was trying to understand, why is it as a soul did I choose this body to walk into? And it's probably important to note that walk-in experiences are consensual, between the two souls. And that's the last memory that I have of the original person in this body, is that she prayed so hard to die. And she was finished. She was completely done with her life here on earth. So me coming in and taking over is an amazing thing, because this body didn't have to die. The family didn't have to go through a loss of their daughter and their sister and their friends. Like, it's an amazing thing that it's still reincarnation. And it's really important to think of it like that, except for you don't always have to reincarnate through a baby. You can step in as a kid, a teenager, an adult. But yeah, the O negative got me into it, because O negative blood is really an interesting thing. It's a recessive gene. All the RH negatives, you could be A, B, O, or AB. But either way, you have a higher electromagnetism of your gray matter in your brain. You have a whole bunch of abstract traits that set you apart from others. And there's no connections to any earthly origins. There's no connection to any other spirit here on earth, or species, I should say. So with that being said, it's led me down an interesting path. I don't know, do you want me to talk about the crazy O negative attacks and stuff like that?
Yes, please. I was gonna see how far you need to go.
Yeah, well, you know me, I can go all the way. Yeah, so yeah, there's a higher level of spiritual attack on RH negative people because of their ability to electromagnetically project outwards. And I call it rally the troops, and basically we can send out a frequency and pull people towards us. And we have a lot of ability to set out protections over the world. A simple way that I would say it is that the controlling factors of this planet are all RH negatives, and we can see what they've done with their abilities. And so we have the same power. And a lot of people are afraid of the RH negatives, and they really shouldn't be, because you can really use your discernment and see who you're dealing with. And the ones that are here for the light, like myself, we're a force to be reckoned with. So this is where you and I came up with that term that night, the Smiths for the Smiths. You know what I mean? It's like peep game, because those who are out here trying to control us, like, we're actually out here trying to control you. So don't play no silly games, because it ain't going down like that.
Control. Ain't no game.
Control.
So at an even deeper level, there's been a great level. There's kind of like a greater level of shifts recently. I mean, like, it's been quantum ever since September, really. What do you feel is this like? Give us a snapshot, like from before September till leading up till now, and what is April gonna bring for us? Because this is just like the make it break it.
That's interesting, because I think April is going to bring a whole brand new life, to be honest with you. Like, in ancient times, Aries used to be the midheaven of the astrological chart, and it was considered that, like, Aries and Gemini, Taurus, Pisces, starting there, wasn't even a part of this physical incarnation. And so it's kind of an interesting place, going through this huge stellium in Pisces and then moving into a place of fire. It's almost like you have to go through your initiations of self, and we're coming out of this huge, like, hibernation, this dormant inward journey that we're all figuring out so much more about ourselves and separating the weak from the strong, because not everybody is meant to handle this much Pisces at all in any way, shape, or form. And so a lot of people have definitely exposed themselves you know, as probably the way that I want to say it, because now they've had a chance to see who they really are to them, you know, in their own personal sphere. And so moving into Aries, we're going to get a brand new life based on all of this new information, all this readjustment, all this like really serious, intricate work on the internal level. Like it's been freaking deepest depths ever. But are you saying going up to September or what happened from September till now?
Coming
What
from
the
September.
heck? What?
Coming from September till now.
Ah, coming from September. That's a good question because so much has happened. Like from September, from those eclipses that happened last September, like I don't even know like anything from before. It's like I woke up in a different dimension. It's like I had a dimensional shift, and that's what really showed me like that shit is real AF, like real AF. You could literally jump a timeline within the time of going to bed till you wake up. So I don't see anything as being the same anymore. And I understand that everybody's kind of on this flow where they're realizing that evolution is occurring every single day. And these transits are rewriting our history for the future. Like Saturn at the galactic center and it leading up to it, this is brand new. And nothing is ever going to be the same with Saturn or Capricorn again. So what we went through in September is so not what's going on now.
Another thing that really helped come into great, clarity was our 14 experience.
Oh my gosh.
We kind of mirrored some dealings with both of our personal experiences with Capricorns, and it kind of enlightened us to a lot of shit. You know, how would you like to speak on this?
It's such an interesting experience.
Because it's not over. It's still on.
It is such an interesting experience. Okay, so yeah, the randomness. He has a Capricorn 14 in his life, and I have one in mine. Mine is actually real. Yeah, sun. The sun at Capricorn 14 degrees. It's a magical ass degree. Don't let anybody play you on that one.
No.
But yeah, it's an intense thing. I've never really had anybody in my life that I can telepathically communicate, astral travel with, feel wrapped around me like a damn blanket. But yeah, mine is still in my life, in the flesh. But it's just been really interesting and weird to see that we both have this like psychic pull towards these people. And it's so freaking real. Like I never really gave Capricorn that much credit because for some reason, you know, signs come into your life in abundance and some like never show up. And for me, I really don't have any Capricorns around. So this has been one extremely interesting experience. And thank God we both had it so we know we're not fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was so mind comforting because I had the more, you were dealing with the Cap man, I was dealing with the Cap woman, so I had the more feminine, like psychic, spiritual thing, and then you had the more physical experience, and certain elements I wouldn't believe if we didn't experience it at the same moment, and it just let me know Capricorn is ruthless. Like they don't get they will if they have Neptune and Uranus on their sun, like they will use their power. Okay, and they're good at what they do. That's all I'm gonna say. They're good at what they do.
They are so good at what they do. And you know what I just realized is that my Chiron has progressed from 13 degrees to 14 degrees of Capricorn.
Oh,
so my Chiron's sitting directly on his sun. So, yeah, we're a bit of a lesson for each other, that's for sure. But I know he feels it.
Yeah, I feel like that's the lesson. Like one thing that we kind of have taught both of them is how to feel more. That's so interesting. That's very interesting. I had to use that moment to throw them shade because, I mean, what am I going to do? But, yeah.
I know. My 8th house son is like, no, I can't talk about it. He's still here. He'll be mad.
You know me, I got to be a shameless Gemini. Bring it out in the open.
I swear.
Let some magic happen.
Seriously, yeah, I am quite a sharing Scorpio for all intents and purposes. Not so much in my own personal life, though, I have to admit. When my feelers get involved, I tend to shut up. So it's kind of a different aspect. But whenever I have no idea who I'm talking to, I'm able to just, whatever, don't care.
In fact, speaking on that, how does it feel to be a Pluto in Sagittarius?
Pluto in Sagittarius is pretty damn awesome, actually. I see it as being so much more of a relief than other generational aspects because it's like, you know, anytime Pluto's activity kicks in, it's pushing you to learn more, to be better through knowledge. And for me, that and the Jupiter in my chart has made me want to just like open my mouth and swallow knowledge like food. I'm pretty obsessed with it. And that's how I create evolution in my own life, is by knowing more, because I can't, if I feel like I'm not taking new information all the time, then I feel like I'm stagnant, you know? And so for me, Pluto kicks in that respect.
No, that's great.
Yeah, lost Pluto and Scorpio look on your face.
Yeah, I'm all like, what do I say next? What do I say next? I'll show you. This is kind of funny because, you know, I've been trying to think of when to introduce the whole Nephilim giants thing, you know.
Oh, coño.
It's another topic of discussion right here. We're just like blazing with the concepts tonight.
Yeah. All right, so you want to go Anunnaki? You want to go like?
I don't know. Is that too 8th house? Is it too deep? I don't know.
No, I love it. Yeah, no, I really, you know, anyone out there who hasn't heard of Gerald Clark, I highly recommend checking him out. He's on YouTube. He's done most of the leading information about Anunnaki and the Nephilim and ancient Sumeria, and going further back, you know, bringing in all the stories of creation, like the Emerald Tablets, the Enuma Elish, the great, the Epic of Gilgamesh, bringing all these things to a point where we can see a consistency starting to happen between all of that, the ancient Vedas, the Bible, and get this clear understanding of where the hell we come from in the first place and who we are and why certain people are under attack, you know? And I don't even want to use the word attack. I feel like it's like being nominated for an award. You know what I mean? Like, you're special enough to fucking have people like try to take you out and shit like that. That's pretty cool. You know what I mean? It's not a Grammy or anything like that, but it's pretty nice that people waste their energy and their time trying to like mess you up and put you down and
Petty.
everything else like that.
Super petty.
Yeah, for real, you know? And it's funny, because it's like the Anunnaki are really part of our creation story. They go back to the planet Nibiru. And if you're not familiar with Nibiru, it's a planet that has a 3,600-year orbit around our sun. So one day is called a shard. So they literally also age based on that. So if we wonder why things are the way they are, it's because the beings that we're dealing with, they are not just like a normal human lifespan, and they're not also human. And that's a big thing I also try to remind people about, is that we're not all the same here. And that's why they don't want us to know our blood types anymore, because they want us to think that we're still just like on this surface level, you know, like color. We're still on race issues and not actually getting down to the part where we aren't just different races, we're actually different species. And then not even just different species, but there's AIs that are walking around in like seemingly flesh suit looking vehicles, you know what I mean?
Fact.
Fact. So it's an interesting concept whenever you start looking at the world from a bigger perspective. And this is why, you know, what he brings up is important, because if you can't grasp the beginning concept of what the hell and why, you know, then you're never going to be able to understand what's going on in this world today. And so understanding that it's more than just a 3D material world, it's actually a holographic matrix. Like, the leading physicists in this world right now will tell you straight to your face that the Matrix is not a fiction movie. It is nonfiction. The Matrix is based on fact. So don't discount certain things in this world, and understand, like, if you are O negative out there and you have astigmatism, it is because you are meant to see multi-dimensionally. Okay, you're bringing back traits. You know, they talk about we are created in their image, and this is what it's all about. You're created in the image of the gods. It's just that we don't understand the actual concept of what God meant whenever we were created. We're genetically modified. We're GMOs.
I like the whole concept of the AIs. The eighth house of astrology really taught me so greatly, like, how well to look at the hidden elements of society. If you think, like, if they really were AIs, if they really were aliens, which if you think aliens are square, the occult, Scorpio, stuff that is hidden, if there really were stuff like this, like, would they really tell you? Like, isn't it kind of reasonable to think that there's certain organizations and societies who keep themselves hidden? If certain news was revealed, wouldn't it make the populace at large go into pandemonium? So of course there's certain things we are not being told off the rip. Edward Snowden let us know with the WikiLeaks. So I mean, I don't understand how people can still be asleep to possibilities like this. But I have a question for you, Ruru. Like, being that this Aries season is awakening and activating power for everyone all around the world, I kind of spoke on the awakenings of the seers and the shapeshifters. How would you kind of like? I know you're familiar with with Avatar. You put me on the last episode. So like, how would you describe the different element benders? Like, what are the Aries and the Sagittarius powers going to be like? What are the water signs powers? Are they going to be enhanced telepathy, or well, what do you kind of delve or sense with all that?
That's a good question. Yeah, you know what? I think that we're gonna download a whole bunch of amazing shit. It's just that we have to realize that we have that power, you know? And so one of the things that I want to comment on that you said is, yeah, they do all this shit in front of our faces because they believe and they've done their best to make us too stupid to fucking see it. Like, whenever somebody steals from in front of your face, you could totally miss it. But whenever somebody's being all sneaky behind your back, it's like you can sense it. So
Yes.
if you can understand it, what's done on the quantum realm, like in the spirit world that they try to hide, it actually brings illumination and attention to it. So just like, you know, in ninjas and stuff like that, ninja assassins, they're trained to actually not look at someone's back before they freaking come and stab them in it, because they don't want to draw the psychic attention. So they've done a lot, you know, putting this all out there. So if we're going to become our superhero selves, then we need to seriously big ourselves the fuck up and stop letting shit hold us back. Because, you know, the water signs are dealing with like tons of intuition, you know, tons of vibration. So whatever you say or do to water, it just vibrates through them like you threw a rock in a pond, you know what I mean? And it reverberates. So all of the water signs are definitely going to get their reignition of seeing into the future and seeing where they are from a correct perspective in the now as they awaken and come out of the slumber. And the fire signs, man, they're here to purify. You know, they really are here to take dark energy and burn it in their flames and shoot it out from their hearts as white light. You know, I think it's an amazing thing. And then all the earth signs are definitely here to really ground all of that psychic intuition, all the purification, and really like reignite the crystalline structure of this earth. Like, allow us to have this energy move through our feet and DNA upgrade everybody. You know what I mean? Send out these like earthquakes, you know what I mean? But from a consciousness level, like move the earth in a different way, like shake the shit off the surface, you know? So it's pretty cool, especially these eclipses. I think that they're going to activate these powers in a huge way. So if in Aries season, you can stop whatever it is that's been fucking hanging on your coattails, because this is something that I talk about a lot on my channel. And you know, between the two of us, I'm the bad cop for sure. He's the good cop.
Facts.
It's super facts, right? And so I don't really give people room to like cry about shit. I give people room to like pull up their fucking pants and move on with shit, right? So some of us here, and we both attract the people who have these massively powerful charts. Their souls are here for a fucking reason. And it's like, you can't, you know, I call it, you can't stay in your onesies and you can't fucking continue playing reindeer games and Netflix and chilling all the time. Like, you have to understand that you're a being that came here for a higher purpose in this world. And there is no more time to let you just be 3D and regular about it. Like, no, like, turn that shit off and like get on your soul's mission, because now is the time. If we don't like help with this age of Aquarius, none of us are gonna get any powers, and we're just gonna fucking be wiped off this planet. And then that's gonna be in a story, and then that's really gonna fucking suck. So if we could just do this, that would be so much more fun.
Meru, you forgot the air signs.
Oh my god, I forgot the air signs. How sad of me. Well, you know what? Air signs, they're invisible, right? So it only makes sense. They're traveling through the ether. The air signs are the quantum realm. So like, they can understand that. Yeah, you included. You included. He's always trying to not be magical. But you're so fucking magical that you rule the quantum realm, right? You know what I mean? So it's like,
Baby.
yeah, and you're grounding it. You're the electricity that flies through the air and splinters off into a million different directions. You know what I mean? Same with
Flight.
Aquarius. And then it's interesting. I don't even really consider Libra an air sign. It's kind of strange.
Artificial air? I'm just joking.
What?
Artificial air? No, I'm just joking, shit.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, you know what? Air is unseen and it can be unfelt. So the air is the ultimate sneak attack. It's like the Trojan horse that when they look inside, there is nobody there, but everyone is, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think what really kind of blows my mind is the extra insight into the ancient Kemetic deities, Asar, Aset, but you know, when you keep me into the Isis Osiris conjunction that was happening in Aquarius, and then Beyonce got pregnant with twins. No one's talking about the fact that Beyonce is about to give birth to Isis and Osiris. Like,
yeah, nor that she showed up as a hologram and freaking with Shiva on stage. That shit blew my mind.
oh shoot, like she's out here just telling the whole world what's good, and I don't think people really get it. Like,
they so don't get it, especially because they're asleep, you know, in this aspect. But she freaking, if Beyonce has enough money to come out holographic on stage and do a performance like she did, if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. I can't remember. It was whatever music show was last. Yes, I should know this information, but I don't.
it's all good.
You couldn't even tell which one was her and which one wasn't. And if Beyonce could do that just for a stage performance, think about the larger world stage as a whole. Like, this is what the point of all of this is. And then her coming out, yes, pregnant with twins, but being Shiva, who is Shiva? Who is Shiva in astrology, in the astrological planets? Who is Shiva?
Pluto.
Pluto.
Yeah.
Seriously, though. So, God of the underworld, representation of the soul, like, you know, the one whose, like, vibrational dance stomps created creation. Are you going to pick a card?
I saw too much Yu-Gi-Oh, so I'm believing in the heart of the cards. Oh, this is the card of espionage. Someone's spying? That's interesting.
Of course they're spying. We know that someone out there has been watching us and wishing us ill.
Yes, you know what? Let's talk about the DFs who are committed to evil in this life. DF is a special acronym. It stands for dumb fucks who are committed to evil. What do you feel about these people?
Oh, what do I feel about them? Um, I actually love them a lot. And I love them a lot because if there were no dumb fucks, then there would be no SMRTs, the ones that are so smart. But no, actually, I think that from creation, we were created out of chaos, right? You
Yeah.
know, a massive explosion of chaos that finds order. And so if we didn't have reference points, then it would be kind of hard to figure out who the hell we are to ourselves and to others. But I think that they're very cute. You know what I mean? And I think they're really sweet because they're still in their onesies. They're still throwing temper tantrums, still trying to like cause havoc and get our attention. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like watching a 4-year-old throw themselves on the floor at a toy store because their mama won't buy them a toy.
Mm-hmm. There's like so many people who have been like planning generational fuckery, GFs. And I feel with these shifts, like 60 years, where this is like a banker, what do you call them? A world trust fund banker or uh, uh, Federal Reserve banker with like years worth of planning to screw over the populace, and it all backfires, and it's just like their 5-year-old like, no, what do I do?
Exactly. Well, that's what's amazing about us is that we're the wild cards, literally, because we can change our minds at any given moment. And that includes waking up and taking control over your vessel once again. And yeah, speaking about generational shit, uh, I know my genealogy, as part of figuring out like my bloodline and all that other stuff. So I could definitely tell that the original soul born into this body wasn't going to be able to overcome a lot of that because, we are paying for the sins of our ancestors. So reincarnation typically happens often within the same bloodline. You're not done. And believe me, you bring in your karma from past lives. So don't think that you're getting off the hook. So if shit is just fucked up with no apparent reason in this lifetime, it's because you did something. And it's not like it's always going to happen. You got to just pay for it, get over it, move on. But yeah, this generational aspect is no joke. And we have flipped the table. So be mindful that some of these people in the highest places with the highest amount of dark are actually going to be overtaken by the light. And so if you really believe what you say, then you'll understand that your love and your light has enough power to transform, to literally transmute that dark energy into light. So some of these people are going to be joining our side. And then we're going to have to accept them and love them and be happy and, realize that we have that power and that we did that.
That's real, because some people will make genuine transition, like Saul, Christian killer, who becomes Paul, and it's like, what, you persecuted us, and now I'm like, no, I'm good now. I'm like, I get it. It's a real, legit issue. And as far as past life stuff, like I've totally come to the whole. I've come to terms with my Venus in the 12th past and realized I would probably like, it's opposite Pluto, so I would do some form of shutting off love, and it's kind of regrained back here, but they're sending love ninjas this retrograde so that I can't just shut it off, and it's just like I'm starting to like people now, and it's like, but let's play this question game where we take turns asking each other questions. I'll ask you the first question, and after you answer, you ask me, and then vice versa till we get to 3. So the first question that I have for you is, your name is Meru. Could you illuminate the meaning of that and how that kind of ties into the whole lot?
You put me on blast.
Oh
That's
shit.
awesome. It's all good. Okay, so yeah, Meru Matu. It's been an interesting experience. People knowing my name before I know my own, right? But yeah, it means key to the universe, and that's kind of when you put them both together. It's an interesting situation, but yeah, I've had people scream it out to me on trains and stuff like that. Like, there she is, the key to the universe, the key to the universe, before I even knew what it meant. Um, so yeah, but when I woke up, I immediately knew my name was Meru Matu, and it's an ancient name. Mount Meru in Kenya, that's where the oldest human remains were found. So it's got some history there, but it's an interesting name. It makes me all like shy to put it out there like that. Nobody ever sees me shy. What is this?
Could you speak a little on your music too, like a part two for your question? Because you are a recording artist, you know, signed to Sony, I believe, or
Yep,
so
yep.
yeah. How is I'm sure, like you said, it's not all it's cracked up to be, but you still put in that work.
Yeah, I put in a ton of freaking work, you know, and yeah, I'm a recording artist. I started off in reggae. I sing pop. I also rap. I use my music as my intro song for Sun Soul Astrology. Plus, I put up a couple songs there if you want to hear any of it. But yeah, I went to college for recording engineering, music business. I'm a Pro Tools master. Mr. Man right there sitting in my recording studio. So
She's with the shits. She's with the shits.
yeah, that shows how lucky he is. But this is an interesting thing because yes, I put in a ton of work, and that's actually why it took me till right now to start my channel and do everything that I'm doing is because I put a lifetime worth of work into music and made it to a high spot. But at the same time, I've never been able to just be me and music. You know, the higher you get, the more that you have to conform and the more that people try to tell you how to walk, how to stand, how to talk. And you know, a lot of the stuff you see on my channel is just me being so fucking over being told by other people who I should be and how I should be. And the whole time that I was doing music, it wasn't like, yes, I've always made my own music, but it never felt like me. The things that you have to do to get there, the way that you have to project yourself into mainstream culture because mainstream's not ready for anything that doesn't look cookie cutter, you know, and I am not cookie cutter. But yeah, so I relinquished my contract with Sony. I just done a brand new album. I've worked with some amazing artists on them. And yeah, I sacrificed it to be doing dailies, daily astrology for my people and guiding them straight through all of this stuff that's meant to distract us, you know? And thank you for helping me with that. You know what I mean? You definitely helped me with that. So I appreciate it.
No, I got you, man. So, okay.
So is it my turn to ask you a question?
Yep.
All right. So I want to know something very general. I want to know, how would you explain yourself to someone who'd never met you?
Oh, man. That was general. If you never met me and you get fooled by Neptune in my 10th house, you would probably think I'm some mystical magic being. And you'll see my Scorpio DC and think that I have a lot of sex for some weird reason. And my Lilith in the 7th will give this impression that I have mad bitches in my DM and all I do is talk to people, but I'm actually a hermit. For those of you who don't know me, like I'm actually a hermit. I talk to people and do readings because thankfully I have the opportunity to give that service. But when I'm not reading, I'm catching up on work I procrastinated on, and I'm having an imaginary girlfriend with my Venus in the 12th. And yeah, that's a little bit of the complex inner workings of the peace dealer's life. And I make videos for you guys. And then, yeah, don't worry, guys. Jupiter is going to go into my 7th house, and I'm going to be more involved in my community. be outside, but I'm working on my sixth house right now. And yeah, that was a good question. For those who are interested, is that accurate? How would you say it?
It is. For anyone out there, you know, who watches him, and you get a chance to meet him in person, he's definitely different, you know? But even more magical. So that's the good part, right? Yeah, in my follow-up to that, because you asked me 2 in a row, so this is how it goes. Can you tell us more about your connection with Osiris?
Oh shit! Well, it was cool. I got to see the first episode of Lucifer, the production that they have on television about such a fallen angel. And I know when you read my chart, you really profoundly opened up my connection to this entity. I found out my moon was in critical degrees. I found out the asteroid was actually on my 10th house cusp. And yeah, I'm honestly still a little bit skeptical about this because I feel like it's a little bit different experiencing it than being a Gemini trying to 3D this. But I feel like this is somebody like my higher self, someone that I'm beginning to open my relationship with, especially being a Christian my whole life and learning that this is an inherently evil person, only to find out, the motherfucker is someone I work very closely with. But yeah, I hate to push this onto you. How would you follow this
That's hilarious and awesome all at the same time.
up?
Why not? It's totally like, let's just do it, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like there's a ton of connections with you and just the whole energy of the morning star. You know what I mean? Because it always comes back to Venus for me whenever I think about this in your context. And you know, Isis and Osiris just coming to this point where like I can see it in you, you know? Um, but it is the Gemini. It's that little Gemini that just wants to be like, no, I'm normal.
Normal.
Like, I just want to be like over here. Like he never talks about, like barely ever talks about his Capricorn moon, which is so freaking Osiris. It like what degree is it? It's like what? It's in the 20s, right? 20 what?
23 next to 24 Saturn.
This is what I'm trying to say, people. This is what I'm trying to say. 23 degrees Capricorn moon, which means that he's only progressed into a more like a stronger strength, right? And so he's just, you know, he's gonna get bitch slapped by Osiris one day. Like Osiris is gonna reach down from the clouds and just bitch slap the fuck out of you, like knock you out of your body, like Doctor Strange style. You're gonna go fucking like swirling through the ethers and all these different worlds and dimensions. And then like he's not even gonna smack you back into your body. He's gonna make you watch when he steps into it. He's gonna make you watch. Be like, see, this is what you could have done, bitch, with that fucking moon. Mm-hmm. That Taurus rising. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just saying.
This is so close to home because I legit channeled this exact same shit. And it's having me saying, yeah, it's like having the devil stand in for your soul sometimes. Like, who wants a problem? No, I was joking. But the question that I have for you is, what are your 3 favorite signs and the 3 signs that give you the most challenge?
Okay, good question. Aquarius wins my #1 favorite spot. I can't help it, but I love me some Aquarius, and Aquarius love me too. This is a good one. I love me some balanced Pisces. And I say balanced because, you know, Pisces wins on my favorite list and my most challenging list. Because there's the balance and the unbalanced for sure. So love me some balanced Pisces because there's nothing more magical, you know, than someone who could wield their water in the right way.
Yeah, facts.
Facts. And let's see here. I'm gonna have to say that I love me some Aries. I love me some damn Aries because they're super awesome. They're super angelic, and I've had a damn good time with them. Yeah. Now on the challenging list, I already added the unbalanced Pisces, but Capricorn can chat my ass. Capricorn can definitely chat my ass.
Oh man. The
But at the same time, they're pretty fucking awesome. But at the same time, they're too awesome. And you know, I only put Libra on this list because Libra needs to redefine itself. And once the redefinition of Libra comes from those Librians, then they will make my top favorite list.
Yeah, it's because Libra is so smart. So Libra is going through their dark side, and no one can really put them in check because they're so goddamn intelligent. And it's like they need the Smiths for the Smiths just to like put them on their ass. And it sucks because the Libras who are walking in integrity just get ganged up by other evil Libras. And then it's just like, come to the dark side, Libra. No one knows, like everyone thinks Scorpio's going through this, but they don't know that Pluto is squaring Libra suns. And it's like, come to the dark side, Libra. We have cookies. We have Netflix. Forget Crunchyroll and Hulu. We have Netflix and cookies. Like Libra is getting tempted. Like the Libras who are doing good are getting ganged up by dark evil entities, and they're like, come to the dark side. And there's so many Libras that have already given themselves away to the dark side, and they're going to like high five Capricorn, like, yeah, we're dark together, but we're gonna act like we're totally, positive and good. The jig is up. The jig is up, but it's all good. We gotta wait till Pluto and Aquarius because Saturn's gonna go back Capricorn and fuck shit up. But it's all good. It's all good.
Seriously, can I ask you one last question?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's your turn actually.
Oh, awesome. I want to know about you. Like, what part of the chart is veiled to you? Like, what part don't you see?
Oh my god. Okay. The part of my chart that's veiled to me is the part in plain sight. The one that I know of, but I don't know of. It's the mystic rectangle. The Venus in the 12th trine the Neptune and Uranus in the 8th. Like that's just the deepest mystery to me. Like it's there, but it's just not there. Like it's the key to surrendering and walking in this mortal vessel.
But this makes sense because it's the 8th and the 12th house that's most veiled to you in general, right?
And you know what makes it so confusing? I have no energy in Virgo, and that's the key right there. That's the magic that puts it all together, and it's just like,
That was a good thing. Yeah, it's funny because I call him Magic. His name is Magic to me, and it'll always be Magic to me. I just won't add the other part, but Magic.
Yay!
Magic.
I told him
when we did collaboration readings, which we're also doing again this month on the 26th, an hour between the two of us, you can book for the same time. We had an amazing client that had a stellium in Scorpio in the 12th house.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I couldn't even say shit. Like I was just me. I was just like
Yeah, that's why I was curious because it was an amazing thing to see. It's like you have a protection bubble around you, though. It's like certain souls don't want you to get too deep into, like, get pulled into the 12th house, like, literally, though. But what is it? What's in your 6th house?
Pluto, Shiva. In motherfucking Scorpio, opposite my Venus, it's like that's it, right there. I don't know what to do though. Like I do.
Yeah, that's it. That's why I get it now because you're not looking at it as the most like super magical, and it's Pluto retrograde, people. Pluto retrograde.
I've been sleeping on it literally by like going to sleep all day instead of using it. It's like you're right. You're so right. That's the activator right there.
Yep. And if we look at it as Pisces is the sixth house, that's freaking Pisces and Scorpio. Like with Pluto retrograde, every lifetime worth of esoteric psychic information brought back to fucking recode this matrix yourself. So yeah, his water rants were totally about himself. Just saying.
All right, hold on. I don't want to forget this now. But all right. So what is my final question for you before your final question for me is what what I'm trying to ask you I can't put into words because it's that high vibe talk.
Feel free to speak Cancer.
Okay, I'm gonna speak Cancer right now. The proliferation of ghosts and double agents that are awakening within our youth. How are you going to really integrate that with the fall of all these, false system generators whose systems are getting busted? And, what I was really going to say, other than the yin yang apprentices, like those people who have a sun in air or fire sign and their moon in the opposite polarity, like where this question is leading to is very shortly what's going to spark with this new chapter are people outright getting possessed. Like I spoke on it, but Aries season is going to come and demons are going to awaken in people. Negative spirits are going to like kill other people. You're going to hear more bath salt bullshit. Like it's going to be real, guys. And Meru, please take it away.
Yeah, that's a good point that you bring up. Okay, so on my channel, I talk constantly about being in control of your mind and your vessel, because that is the only way that you can stop yourself from being a double agent or being possessed. Because this whole system is set up so that you are a vehicle, a flesh suit that's able to be taken over by the Smith. So literally think the Matrix, literally think the mom walking down the street pushing her stroller and then just like changing into a Smith real quick. So if you're not in control of yourself, if you're still hung up on shit that just doesn't make a fucking difference in this world, then no, you are a double agent. Know that you are able to be possessed and taken over at any time. Okay, if you can't even control the thoughts that go through your head, how do you think that you have the power to stop something that's bigger than you from just coming in and boom shelling and taking over?
MK Ultra.
Yeah, and this is huge to know too, because the people out here that, say as an example, Magic and I have a fortress locked down on this house, and I launched a rescue mission for his ass.
Facts.
Facts, because seriously, I've gone to war with these entities for a lifetime, not just in the waking world, but in the dream world. And so I showed up on the scene just in time to try to prepare, like almost like building, a new hypothetical Noah's Ark to get enough people on the right page of enlightenment of their own selves, not enlightenment of anything outside of them, so that they're not subject to being overtaken. Because if this force that he's talking about hits and you're all still sleeping comfortably, doing your normal shit, realize that you are open. You're prime picking. Okay, so if you're still radiating negative energies as well, your food, you're being siphoned. Your life force is being eaten like it's a freaking buffet. So you got to put yourself in this working order and not become the Walking Dead. Like that show, The Walking Dead? It's a literal metaphor for current day society, and it's a virus. This whole, like I was saying earlier, whole situation is a hologram. Okay, it's binary code. It's sequences of ones and zeros. That is our DNA. They have computer viruses, they have human viruses, and there really is no difference at the end of the day. So this attack is coming from a larger realm than us, and what we have the ability to do is take control and not just jump timelines, but jump dimensions. And we can pull a lot of people with us when we go. But again, you have to be able to conceive, to believe, And it starts with you and your inside work. So don't become food. Don't become a double agent. If you think you're susceptible, firm yourself the fuck up like right now.
And one thing you touched on that was very highly important was a lot about, oh, I'm about to get mind swiped right now. It was a lot about making sure you, how do I even say it? It was a lot about basically like,
Being in control of your thoughts.
right, right, it's happening now. No, but yeah, like not only being in control of your thoughts and the MK Ultra, but yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And it's so crazy how I almost forgot to say this, but whenever a Libra and a Scorpio are next to each other, Sun and Libra, Sun Scorpio, or a Moon and a Moon or a Moon Sun combo, a portal opens. This is supported because of this eclipsal energy. Eclipsal. This is supported because of this energy that is moving around. So some of you wanted to ask a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, does someone know if they're possessed? That was the whole drama behind the Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, new moon cycle that we had, because now even people who've been so skeptical about stuff, they now have been revealed a glimpse of their attachment to certain entities. So most people gain power from being melancholic and holding on to their negative energy, and it gives them a false sense of power. So a lot of people will hold on to these demons or hold on to this because if they let go, they have to surrender power. And it's like, you know, make sure you really fight them to the death because they're going to fight you to the death. And yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a huge thing, you know? So if you guys haven't heard out there about hemi-syncing and connecting the left and the right side of your brain, definitely do some research on that. It's some super simple things, but you know, the way that you know if you're possessed is if you even have to ask yourself that question for one, then you probably are. Because, you know, if you trust yourself, then you shouldn't have any worries about being possessed. But you have to love yourself. You have to trust yourself and you have to know yourself, because how could you not know, technically? You
Yeah.
know, so this is where it comes down to understand, you know, people that watch my channel, they've heard me say this a million times, but understand that from 0 to 7, you are operating in theta brainwaves. So that means you're a recording device. And after 7, you start a playback loop that goes between about 70 to 90,000 thoughts per day, running through your head on autoplay, just the same shit over and over. You know, so 95% of those thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before. And so the way that you start to like, what do you call it? Deprogram yourself from your current program is by getting into your subconscious, right? But people don't understand that they can't access the subconscious through the freaking conscious, right? So everything that we're doing as a method is like defeating the whole purpose anyways, because the conscious mind and the subconscious, they are not the same mind. One is linear, one has space and time attached to it, and the other doesn't. The other is Pisces. Like, try to fucking like access Pisces through Virgo. It's not going to happen, right? They have to come into a balance, and you have to move through like a center dimension, a different way, you know? So you start by changing your thoughts. You start by understanding what thoughts are yours. You start by changing your habits, and you start by going through theta hypnosis and hemi-syncing. So hemi-syncing is like connecting the left and right side of your brain by crossing your limbs, you know, and then you can start to see the world through a balanced perspective where two sides of your brain are operating. Because if you're only in a separated state, then you automatically go into your lower mind and your fight or flight while having a conversation with yourself inside your own head. You know what I mean? So realize to don't set yourself up. Don't go before you even go into a room with people. Do not start arguing with them before you even get there. If you get in a fight with someone, fucking end it the moment that you stop talking. Like, do not take that with you. You know, these are the things that keep us locked into lower vibrations and make us susceptible. So these are places to start if you haven't had any familiarity with how to actually get yourself in control.
So yeah, we covered a whole lot of ground.
We
Uh,
did.
I think you have one more question, and yeah,
You want me to ask you a question?
yeah, I think yeah, you have one more question.
Okay. Let me see. What is it that I want to make you super uncomfortable and squirmy with?
This is your last
Hmm.
chance to expose me.
Hmm. Who is your favorite imaginary girlfriend and why?
My favorite imaginary girlfriend is the epitome of my Venus in the 12th. So I'm a Gemini and I kind of shop and bid for vessels who can capture the vibration of this goddess. And some check out and catch the vibes, and I might, lurk and stalk on their physical profile. No, I'm just joking. It usually depends. Like it's usually in cycles. Some people are saying ScarJo in the comments. Shout out to ScarJo if you ever watch this, Holland. But no, honestly, like my favorite imaginary girlfriend. This is honestly like an important question because I just broke up with my imaginary girlfriend again, like
Again.
now. Like I need a new one. I might even get a real one. So,
Oh my God.
so I mean, we'll see. It's a good question. It was 14 cat for a while, but I kind of moved on because I deserve better. I deserve a higher quality of imaginary delusion in my life.
You deserve a higher quality. And one last thing that I have to blast you for before we go.
Please go ahead.
For all of those that cross-watch me, yes, this is the magical being who slams the doors in all of my videos.
Yes, I am guilty as charged. Oh my god.
The blast has been blasted,
Oh man.
just like an eighth house sun would.
Someone realized that I expertly dodged the question, like I never really answered it.
Oh, but yet he did. Let me just say, yet he did, because his imaginary girlfriend is quite real in the most imaginary sense of the word.
Oh god.
How could we really get literal about the imaginary, right?
Yeah.
Allow a Gemini to explain it and his
The
own
eighth house is
Gemini.
involved, so some elements of the imagination are kind of more real, and it's like what I thought was illusion was actually real. So it's like, what is delusion and what is? I don't know. It's weird.
Exactly. Well, you're 180 Sagittarius, freaking rewriting the Matrix code up there with Saturn in the galactic center. You're
Wow.
tapped in.
So yeah, like Meru had said before, catch us on the 26th. You could. We're gonna be doing readings. Spots do fill up quick though, and we got the link in the description below. And make sure you check out her channel. We got that right down below too. And I guess to close, Meru, what do you have any final words for people who are getting into the spiritual path, and how could they reach you as well?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, Sun Soul Astrology on YouTube, IG, and also Facebook. Meru Matu, MERU MATU on Facebook as well. But to get to your thing about spirituality, like fuck everything and go inside. Like if literally can understand that there is nothing outside of you that can help you with you, and that everything is just meant as a distraction. So if you really want to know yourself, if you want to know how to connect back to source, if you want to really tap into your true soul's mission, then go inside, learn how to clear your mind. Learn how to focus on getting to know you and loving you. And I know that that sounds really simple. I talk about that every day, about self-love and how to accomplish it. But Yeah, if you're just getting into spirituality, definitely stay tuned to this man right here, as well as myself, because we're going to definitely give you some tips and tricks that other people really don't talk about that much. But on a general, literally don't forget that it's always about you and how you can better yourself so that you can better the collective through your vibration.
And just a sneak peek, just to see our combined power, I pulled a card for every single one of you watching this right now, and Meru is going to interpret it. It's going to be magic, tarot magic. What you got, Meru? What you got?
Magic. Let me see, what is it? Is it the magician?
It's the Judgment card. What is
Oh, the judgment card. Yeah. All right. So for all of you out there, it is Judgment Day. Pisces season coming to an end is about to take everything that you've learned as far as magic, as far as intuition, as far as trusting yourself, and put you through your own self indoctrination and initiation into your own halls of what I call, from a reference of Thoth, a mente, right? Are you walking through your own fires of purification without fear? Or are you still scared of who you might really be? Are you accepting your magical mission? Or are you just wishing it to be true like it was a storybook? So, yep, Judgment Day is here, but this is your time to make it all fly in your direction.
Amen, my friend, because those who are true believers know you don't believe for a result. You're not believing in this for one moment. This is a part of your lifestyle. The lifestyle in astrology squares belief. So you stay believing like Naruto, and you will become Hokage one day. And until next time, let it know. Peace.